I want to show you how to do a double fisherman's knot. This is a great knot for cord, for silk, hemp, any kind of leather or any kind of material that you want to do some sort of adjustable knot with. This is just kind of your basic cord. And what I like to do personally, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to show you how to do a right-handed knot, but I put the inactive side in my left hand, and I usually put the one I'm not going to be tying in the back, and then I put the one I'm going to work with in the front. And I pinch them so that I can keep track of which one is the one I'm working with. You want to leave yourself a tail. When you cut it, you want to give yourself at least 6 inches on top of whatever size you're trying to create. And what I like to do is I start with this front one. I'm going to wrap it around, then go back on itself. And then when I get to the front again, you want to make sure you pass over this front piece, that this is the one that's going to be sliding. And then what I like to do is pop open these 2 loops that I just created, and I'm going to slide that tail down the middle and pull it out. I usually have a little bit more to work with. There we go. And then I do like to open it up. You want to make sure that these 2 ends here stick together and these 2 ends stick together, so you actually have kind of this figure 8 on top of this bottom back one. Another thing I like to do is I don't just pull it, or you will get a very long tail and then you lose the length you need for the knots. So I work the loops and I kind of slide them. Notice I'm pulling with my left hand here so that I can slide with my left fingers and keep the tail here from being pulled a little bit. And just work that down, get that as tight as possible. That's nice and tight. It flips a little bit. Then we're going to do the other side. Back side here, this is the one we're going to go around. Put that in the back. One we're going to work with in the front, pinch it over here. This also helps me so I can kind of use my other fingers to kind of help move things around and hold things. So we go around, back on itself, and then notice I'm kind of pinching with these 2 fingers so I can hold it and pop up these 2 loops. And then I'm going to bring this around and I'm going to slide this through the loops again, open it up, check to make sure these 2 are together, check to make sure these 2 are together, looks good. And then it is kind of key when you're sliding the loops, you don't want to have either of them flip on the other one. So this one can actually like slide over to that way or slide over to that way, because what happens is one way will lock it down and one way will untie it. So keeping track of these, once again, I'm going to pull with these fingers as I slide it towards the end. Make sure they all stay lined up. Give it a little pull. And then what you have is 2 knots that look like they have 2 double loops over them. So that way, when you want the piece to be longer, you pull apart, you pull these ends apart. And then when you want it shorter, you're gonna grab your knots. I usually have to get my fingernails in there a little bit if you pull it too tight, and work it open a little bit. The first time you do it, it's always gonna be the most challenging, but just kind of work it. And you'll see it starts to slide. So I'll just kind of do that a couple times, where I open and close and get the knots to start behaving a little better, something like that. So there you go. That's called the double fisherman's knot, and it's a really versatile knot. There's a lot of things you can use it for, and it's called a double fisherman's knot because it does come from fly fishing. So hope you find that useful. Have a great day.